Booktube, it's Leah Cooper here, and today I'm bringing you a monthly recommendations video. Monthly recommendations is a Goodread group where every month they do a topic and everyone makes a list of recommendations based on that topic. This is the first time I've ever done one of these videos, so it's really late in the month to be posting this. I think they suggest you post it within like the first full week of the month. Well, I missed that. But I keep thinking about the topic, and I did really want to make this video. I also don't know what like the standard number of recommendations is, but I'm just going to do 5. So this month's topic is auto buy authors. Now, alternatively, you could also do auto read authors. My list is kind of like a mix of both. Let's get right into the list. Coming in at number 5 is Jasper Fford. Now, this is an author who is actually kind of an auto buy. Like, I don't actually necessarily run out and buy a book as soon as he publishes one, but whenever I see one of his books at like a good price, like in a used bookstore, I snap it up. For example, recently I found the 3rd book in a kids series he's writing that I had never heard of before. Like, I had no idea he was writing kids books. And despite the fact that I do not own books 1 or 2 and I have not read them, I instantly bought book 3. He's just kind of like an auto buy author for me. One of these days I'm going to go back and actually read all of the books I own from him, but I don't know when that's going to happen. There's just so many books to read. Coming in at number 4 is Anna Cohen. Now, she's actually only written 1 book, and she's on this list because I am like anticipating her next book, which it's been a few years since she wrote Untamed, which is her debut novel, and it's a historical romance novel that I loved to pieces. It was probably the first romance novel, like official romance novel I ever read, and I loved it. It set the bar very high for everything that came afterwards. I know she's working on a new novel, and I can't wait to read it because I loved her characters in the first one. Coming in number 3 is a kind of a recent read author, and that is Siesta Cap. She wrote the Captive Prince trilogy, which I adored. I just devoured those books. I have a full review of this trilogy up, and I will link it up above. You can go and check it out. It's an historical fantasy novel. It's great. She's written a couple of short stories that are set in the same universe that I have not purchased yet, but I am planning on purchasing when I can, justify breaking my book buying ban. And I'm eagerly waiting for her to write a new series. And I know as soon as she does, I will be there to either purchase it or, harass my library into purchasing it. Coming in at I guess this would be number 2, is KJ Charles. I haven't actually bought everything she's written, but she is one of the few authors that I have actually pre-ordered a couple of her books. For example, I pre-ordered books 2 and 3 in the Magpie Lord series. Yeah, I recently went and read all of those books, and I read a bunch of the short stories and everything, and completely caught up in that entire universe, and I loved them. I also own, I want to say, the first book in one of her newest series. There's a series in between that she wrote in between the Magpie series and her newest series that I don't have, but I am going to be probably checking out and reading as soon as possible, as soon as I have some time to do it. She's definitely kind of an auto read author. And coming in at number 1 is, this should probably be no surprise, Catherine and Valente. So I've recently been reading kind of everything Catherine and Valente has written because honestly I just really love her. She's probably in my top 5 favorite living authors, to be honest. I really love her books. She recently came out with a book called The Refrigerator Monologues, which I was on the waiting list for that book at my library before my library had even ordered it. Okay, that's how excited I was for it. And honestly, that's probably how it's gonna go for all of her future books. I think Radiance, which I read at the very beginning of the year, is probably gonna be on my top 10 favorite reads of 2017 list. It was just utterly magical, a book that's really stuck with me, even 70 books down the line. I just love it. Her prose is so beautiful and so specific to every single book. There are similarities between her writing style for each book, but each book is so unique because she writes so specifically to tell the specific story of each individual book, and it's just utterly delightful to read. I am eventually one of these days going to do a whole author spotlight once I've finished reading the bulk of her catalog. I'm not quite there yet, but yeah, If you like magical realism, if you like fairy tale retellings, if you like speculative fiction, I highly suggest you check her out. I do have a review of Radiance, if you're at all interested. That is a decopunk science fiction sweeping multimedia story. I'll link it up above if you're at all interested. I totally suggest you check it out. And yeah, so those are my 5 auto-buy / auto-read authors. Let me know some of your auto-buy or auto-read authors. Authors you just, you know, the second they put something out, you're there to read it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.